people of YouTube, my name is Steve Gray and thank you for watching. Today we're going to be talking about Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. And it's pretty good. As the thumbnail says, it's pretty good. We're going to also try to play a game called Does Sex Sell with this thumbnail. So we'll see how many views this bad boy actually gets with this nice blurred out thumbnail from Google Images. So thank you, Google Images. And yes, I altered it. So that way, technically, it is now altered artwork. So I think that classifies as like not copyright. I'm not fully sure with the copyright, but I know if you alter it in some way, which I have clearly, then it may not fully be copyright or whatever. But all the bad parts are blurred out. So let's just go right into it. So let's talk about the two main characters. Obviously, main character Nagatoro. She is the one that's constantly annoying. She calls him senpai over and over and over again. Doesn't actually like to call him by his name. And I've grown to like her. I kind of hated her in the first one because she made this kid cry, this poor little guy, other main character. And she has grown to like her senpai. We'll just put it that way. You know, she does constantly tease him, but he's kind of in out of two. He fights back at her a little bit. But she is clearly getting more and more jealous of her other friends that are kind of messing with him as the series goes on. This is her in the anime. I guess there's a webcomic too. I'm not familiar with the webcomic. I have not read the webcomic or the manga. So I am not going to spoil anything. I am just going to strictly speak on behalf of the 9 episodes that we have had so far. Moving on to, I guess you would call him the main character, Senpai. So I honestly, I forgot his name, and that's kind of funny. Because she just calls him Senpai the entire time. I feel like I just know him by Senpai, or Pensen, as they like to call him. So Nato, I'm going to butcher this, Hajioji. We're just going to call it. We're going to continue to call him Senpai, but he is very introverted. You know, he's kind of in his own life. He likes his art. He likes his manga. He likes his video games. He's your kind of stereotypical nerdy, scrawny character. Very plain looking. You know, no discernible features whatsoever. The one thing that is slightly, I guess, annoying about him is like, after a while, I feel like you would just get used to it and it wouldn't phase you. In my situation, I feel like I would get used to it and it wouldn't phase me if the same situation was happening to me over and over again. I was constantly getting teased. But he does finally grow a little bit of backbone. And at one point, you know, Nagatoro is like, "Hey, senpai, you know, you're bringing me to this place all alone. You grab me by this arm. What are you going to do to me? What are you going to do to me?" Like, teasing him. And then he was like, "Give me details." And then she's like, "Wait, what? Hold on." He was like, "Give me details. What do you think I was going to do to her?" She's like, kissing and stuff. Then he gets all red and flustered and goes right back into it. And so the dynamic is there as well. So it's just kind of interesting to see how all of that pans out. Now moving on to the side characters. We haven't got introduced to one of these girls yet, so we'll go ahead and ignore her. So we have Gamo-chan. She and Nagatoro are kind of enemies, but not massively. She made Senpai touch her, well, he thought he was touching her breast. In reality, he was touching a bean bun, which I'm not really familiar with what a bean bun is. That's what it says in the subtitles anyway, unless like they got mixed up, because to me it looks like some sort of like dessert donut looking thing. But maybe bean buns are a thing in Japan. I personally don't know. But she is probably the cruelest of the bunch, I would say. Out of the main characters so far, she is kind of relentless, very mean, and she is just the badass bad girl that you know, tries to ruin everybody's life. She's the home wrecker is the best way to describe her. And then moving on to Yoshi, whose name I can pronounce properly here. She is kind of like she's literally like the third or fourth wheel, I would say. She's always just kind of like this background character. You know, there's not really a notable personality trait. She's shown as a cat and a rabbit, I think, a couple of times, and she has, you know, kind of like the cat mouth going on there. But she is just kind of there. She's kind of along for the ride. She's just kind of following what Nagatoro and Gamo-chan do. So she's just kind of the fourth wheel there. And then, last but not least, we have Sakurai, who she is very interested in relationships and dating. And in the last episode, we get to see her tease a group of like avid video game nerdy guys, like stereotypical nerds. In there, none of them are conventionally good looking. I think they purposely drew them to make them ugly looking. What's always weird is that outside of the main cast, none of the characters actually have like eyes. They have like a nose and a mouth, but they don't give them eyes, and I find that very weird. It's an interesting art style, but I guess, that's kind of a way to say, hey, look, this is just a side character. You don't have to care about this person. Although a few of them have been reoccurring, which was weird. There's one point where some of these characters were hitting on all four girls, and then Senpai comes up and he's like, let's go, very reluctantly. Nagatoro, she's like, oh, wow, he's actually, manning up, stepping up to the plate. I'm starting to like this guy. And they all walk away. That was kind of the first time we got to see her. Latest episode, she actually goes on a fake date with Senpai because there is this guy that is stalking her. She went into the video game friend group and tried to break them all up by flirting with all of them. She's very flirty, likes to go on dates. She's that type of gal, wants that relationship. And she kind of goes on a date and messes with Senpai too. She was like, hey, is there anybody that you actually want to go on a date with? And he gets all flustered and starts blushing. It's kind of cute how he ends up. And that's basically the series, There's a few times where like Nagatoro shows Senpai a little bit too much. She kind of flashes him to a certain extent in the bathtub. There's friggin' clips galore on YouTube right now of this. Is constantly popping up in my feed because I put it in YouTube once, and the algorithm, of course, has to show me every clip ever of the show. So I feel like I watched half of the show before I even started watching the show, if that makes sense to you. Where I just saw so many clips and I was like, all right, fine, whatever, you're getting me. I'm going to watch this thing. People are like, oh, how you can't have this like opinion of that it's cruel after the first episode. And it is kind of cruel because, that first episode was terrifying. She made this poor kid cry. It made me feel like, when I used to get bullied in middle school, it wasn't much of a problem for me in high school, but there was a little bit of bullying in middle school, especially by, and it was, the girls, some of the girls were relentless too, but I kept to myself. Most of the time I had my friend group. I wasn't completely alone, unlike Senpai. At least I did have a friend group, which helped. Which I think this is like they're doing like the super nerd. He just likes being loner by himself. Alone. They call him a closet perv over and over again, which is kind of interesting. But that's basically the show. So the music. I just want to say the music is on point. It's definitely interesting watching a girl get jealous for this kind of nerdy, average-looking dude. I think she just started like messing with him because she thought he would be easy to mess with, and then periodically, as the series goes by, she's starting to fall for him to the point of where I think maybe he'll get a kiss at the end of the season. She's offered him a kiss a couple of times, kind of jokingly. There was a few times where they were doing it was the friggin' there was an episode where they were doing the nipple locator game. So it was like they had a bet where like you could make the other person do whatever you want coupon. Nagatoro actually has that, so I'm not sure if she'll bring that out at some point in time. But it was basically guess where the other person's nipples are, and then it got really weird because she started rubbing his nipples for like a minute, and I don't know if he was like aroused by it or what the heck was going on. It was just really weird. And then when he gets to do it, the bell rings, and then she runs away because she's scared. Because she is the type of bully where if you bully her back, she doesn't know what to do with it. She can dish it out, but she can't take it, is the best way to describe it. She gets all flustered and angry when he starts fighting back with her, when he starts bullying her, manning up, showing a spine, those big cojones, if you will. And she just doesn't know what to do with him because he is slowly getting used to these constant annoyances. He's getting used to all these girls being around him. He's getting his harem. That's the best way to describe it. He's getting his harem, but he's getting used to it. So I think it will just progressively see him grow as a character, get less and less annoyed, and then probably this is going to end with like him and Nagatoro kissing or something. I feel like that would be a good way to end this anime manga. I don't know how far it goes in the manga. I know we do have another character that we have not been introduced yet. President. No idea who she is. I'm not going to click on the link because I don't want to spoil anything for the anime-only watchers, such as myself. I try to avoid spoilers where I can. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. My name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and leave a like as well. Yet again, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.